Hey, my loves, welcome back to our channel. We are here with another one. I hope you guys are excited. We are back and we're talking about Married at First Sight. Babe, where are you? Tell the people where you at.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
It's
no.
y'all. It's been a long couple days, and stuff has been crazy. Haywire here, haywire at home. I'm in Marietta, Ohio. Sorry.
Okay. Well,
Hi.
hey, Marietta. So I'm so glad you could scratch out some time for us to talk about Married at First Sight. I'm sorry, our neighbors are obviously celebrating something, but
Oh, it's good because we can't hear them, so that's good.
oh, that's good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into. We'll start from the top. This was a weird episode because it opened the same way that was like the middle of the show. The last episode, it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird because I thought that I was tripping and that I had pressed the wrong episode or something like that.
Yeah, like Joe called. Like Joe was watching it, and he actually called me. Like, am I missing something? Like, what number episode are we on, or whatever the case may be. So I
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing in production or post when they are actually going through and editing this, but it was very, very, very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. And I really wasn't feeling it, but I did what the part that I did like about it was the fact that you got to see why Bao and Johnny had those red sheets and what
Yeah.
that symbolized. I like that they're trying to ingratiate their traditions and their actual culture
Hmm.
in this. But it did make me think. So we're on Married at First Sight, and they obviously had to say that they wanted to be with somebody who was Vietnamese, right?
I would think that they definitely said something like that. I would think that they made it a point to say like I would, when they made their list, I would prefer they would be, Vietnamese or whatever.
Yeah.
Because also, like I said before, they families don't really take kindly to strangers.
Yeah.
Just
And
traditionally, not, we don't know them personally. They could be different, but traditionally, like they're very like you bring home somebody who look like us.
yeah, and I get that. I get it. You know what I mean?
I do
But I
too.
did enjoy seeing all of that and understanding a little bit more about what the best she symbolizes and what the color red and fertility and everything. I thought that was really
Yeah.
dope. So it's very clear that Johnny and Bao, they had a really good episode to me. I don't know if you
Yeah, I
watched
thought they
it.
did too. It's just they Bao toes this line for me between adorable and annoying.
I think she's so
And
adorable.
it's gonna I'm gonna have to pay attention to how that balances out because it's she can teeter either way
But
depending on what they talking about.
I agree, and I don't want to jump around, right? But what I can say about Bao that I can't say about Mirla is that Bao has redeeming qualities. So, like in a moment where I feel like she might be being like annoying, like when she put last episode when she put the pillow in between her and Johnny, I thought that was annoying as hell,
Yes,
right?
that's what I mean. Yes.
But this episode when Johnny asked her about like sex and what how just wanted to talk about being intimate, she didn't shy away from it and she answered the question like,
Yes.
and I love that. And I thought
Yes.
that was redeeming and I thought that that was affirming,
Yes.
especially for somebody who is he likes affection. So he
Yeah.
needs to know, like, are you thinking about it? Like, what are you thinking? So for her to be like, in the moments that we have kissed privately, I feel like you stirring something up. And I think that
Mhm.
that's good. I thought that that was really,
Yeah,
really good.
I did. I did. I was not sure how that conversation was going to go.
Me either. I was nervous.
So I was nervous for Johnny. I commend Johnny for having the gusto to bring that up to her at that time. Um, but I was kind of happy for him and her that she responded in a kind way and was just kind of able to just kind of go with the flow and say, okay, let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
It was very
Um,
grown. It was
yeah,
very, very, very grown and it was
yeah,
very evolved. And it did make me think that not that I don't think that she'll be one of those people who is always sorry, I have hair on my lip, that is always like this. I think
Hmm.
that we're going to see an evolution of, because something about her gives me like, I like him, but I don't want to be too fast about liking him.
Yes.
I want to be
Yeah.
reserved. I don't want to get
Reserved.
too hyped.
Yeah.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Which
But
I
I
can
like him.
I can respect that. I can respect that,
Me too.
especially if you feel like you are also protecting yourself, right? Like I don't know if you know if you feel like you're the type of person that can fall easily or fall fast or
Yes.
whatever, and you're like, okay, I know this about myself. Let me be a little bit reserved and conservative on our approach to this. So I thought that was I'm cool with that. Yeah.
I am too. So they both actually went and met each other's family. He
Hmm.
sat down with her brother and her brothers, and I guess one of their wives and or her friend. And it was really, I thought, a good conversation. The brother was honest, like, sometimes you got to give her a little space to, get to a certain place where she feels a little bit more comfortable with you.
Hmm.
And even them disclosing that she didn't like the gift.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think she didn't like that gift up until the moment she saw Johnny. And then she was like, "Oh, it's Johnny.
But
I love this gift."
But see, that's the part that toes the line for me because I was with Johnny and Johnny was very transparent. Like I thought that was just a little bit of an overreaction, and that's exactly how I felt about it. And that's the annoying part about Bao to me because I could tell she genuinely was like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do? He likes sports. This is a jersey. Like this is the worst thing."
Yes.
Like they might as well could have told her he was a racist and he doesn't like Asian people. Like
Yes.
that was her response to
And
it. You know
even
what
the
I
way the
mean?
brother brought it up as if the gift was so asinine.
Yeah, yeah. It
Like
was it
it
was
was a good
weird.
gift. It was
Yeah,
right. Like y'all making it weird. I'm
yeah,
not weird. Y'all are weird.
yeah. And I like that Johnny was just like, okay, so what should I do when she's like that? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Because apparently y'all got the answers.
Right.
But inversely, I enjoyed watching her sit down with his family, his mother and his aunties, and how, she let us in on how like important it is what you call people is in Vietnamese culture, like being auntie or like mom or whatever the case may be, and how welcome she felt into their family. But did you think it was premature them talking about babies?
No, because that's what I mean. I feel like in the Asian culture, they getting straight to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They don't even, and that's partly why I was a little bit surprised at Johnny's dad reacting the way he did to this situation because they're also not like foreign to arranged marriages from what I understand. So
Mm.
I was surprised about that. And like the mom was like, don't even know her, but I want some grandkids. Like that's what I
Yeah.
expect. Like that's kind of the experience that I've had in being close to Asian culture. Like, cool, she's cute, she's nice, she can bear children, she's
Yeah.
in.
Let's
You know what I
do it.
mean? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I thought that like it was just par for the course.
I thought it was fascinating that dad didn't support it either, and I wonder because they allude to the fact that first of all, Johnny was obviously really hurt by that, and that really
Hmm.
kind of moved me and made me sad as well. But they made reference to the fact that he hadn't been around for a lot of Johnny's bigger things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like bigger events or moments.
Hmm.
And I thought it was really fascinating that I mean not fascinating. I love the fact that Bao was like so like, listen, I'm good with dads. We'll bring them around. I'll
Yeah.
speak Vietnamese. I'll dress nice. But it makes me think not that he didn't care for the moment, but that he just didn't want to come at all. I just don't think he wanted to come. I don't think it was that he disapproved.
They can also be, from what I understand, like very steeped in tradition. And so maybe if there was maybe their tradition is like the parents have more of an input on who your spouse is, which is
Yeah,
common
true.
in some cultures. And so I can believe that because I come from a traditional household. So I can believe that he was so off put by the breaking of tradition that he couldn't bring himself to be there, which is foul. But it doesn't surprise me because
Okay,
I've
can
seen
I
similar
ask a
stuff.
question?
Hmm.
Do you think you could, well, you're married, but do you think you could marry somebody that your family didn't necessarily approve of?
Absolutely.
Not absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much decided very early on in life that I was going to go my own way. And so it made it much easier for me to not give a fuck about what anybody had to say, anybody in my family, anybody in my, and then you kind of got to go to the path that you go to, right? Like when you're younger and you like telling people, I'm gonna be a musician, they like, yeah, whatever, go get a job. You know what I mean? And so you kind
Yeah.
of gotta have the skin of like, I don't really give a fuck that you don't think it's possible. I think it's possible. And not that I needed that with my family, but it was just something that I owned because I needed it for the
You needed tough
surroundings.
skin.
I
Right.
needed it,
Right.
period. Yeah. And then breaking from the tradition of family and being in the church and being in church 5 days a week and
Right.
playing on church every Sunday and stuff like that. I had to break from that and not give a fuck what people thought. You know what I mean? So I could have absolutely married somebody who they didn't like. But luckily they're in love with my wife now. So I'm good.
That's what they tell you. Let me say no. But okay, we can move on. So let's talk about Rachel and Jose. Okay, so they both are beginning. You know how we're getting to see them unfold and getting to see them with each other. I
Mm-hmm.
don't. So they're like kissing each other in the mouth early in
I
the
told you,
morning.
but what did I tell you last time? This is another culture thing. In the Latin culture,
They
they
affectionate.
quick to get down. She already told he went to put the condoms in the joint. She said, "No, we don't need those." Like they popping out the babies at a alarming rate. I mean
Now,
that's
no,
just
don't say that. Don't say that. It is
I
not an
just
alarming rate. They make
I'm
babies and they take care of their
I'm
kids.
just fucking with my people. That's all. They are cousins. You know what I mean? I'm just fucking
That's
with them.
true. They are
But
our cousins.
but I'm saying that to say that did not surprise me that they were like the first ones to be like, yes, like we're super affectionate. He choking her on the first night. It was very weird and awkward.
Well, I like a
They
little.
kissing. They talking about babies and condoms and all this stuff already. I'm
Yeah.
not surprised. That's their vibe. That's their culture.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I was surprised or not. I first of all, y'all know I'm a proponent for being affectionate with people, even if you just met, like whatever the case may be. Like you might. I don't know. Something about it feels
You're
funny,
talking about this show. Let's just clear that up.
right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about if you marry somebody at first sight. I'm speaking specifically to that.
Yeah.
That's very true. But I really enjoyed her little 90. And you know what's really sad to me is to hear women be so not, I don't want to use the word insecure, but so conscious of how they look when they take their makeup off. And not to say that we don't all, and we all go through this like kind of like insecurity thing, but it's like I always talk to my friends like, y'all don't be taking y'all wigs off. Y'all be really worried about somebody seeing y'all without makeup on? Like, you know what I mean? Like those things, but that's real life.
Some people need to though. So that's just what it is. Like you got to you speaking from a privileged position. So
That wasn't nice,
I'm
honey.
not. It's not. It wasn't me neither. Some people have genuine concerns, like, and they maybe should. That's all I'm saying.
Well, one of the things that she said that I thought was really off putting is that she's glad that they have a lot in common because she doesn't want to change any of her habits. And it's just like, why do y'all get with people and think that nothing's going to change?
Because they're single and have been single for their entire life or a long time, and this is partly why whatever they have been doing has not worked out. Because they are, this is who I am. I can't change for nobody. This, that, like you ain't gonna be married if you feel like you can't change. Then so you stay
You
your single
can't.
ass right where you at.
It's so weird to me. Like, I don't want to change it. Do you know how many habits I've changed and vice versa? Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, things that you would normally do that now just don't fit into whatever your new life looks like. You know what
It's
I
just
mean?
it's just coming into a team setting and saying I'm just going to do what I want to do. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand why
Mm,
people would never do that in any area of life. If you coming into a new
mm.
workspace and you're part of a new team, you would never walk in and say I'll just do what I do. Everybody else doing over there. You'd be fired. You would just be
That is
fired. You would never say
1,000%
that. You
true.
know, if you play sports, you wouldn't join the team and just be like, well, I do me. So we don't really need to
I'm gonna
practice or
do
run plays.
me.
I'm gonna just do me. Like that doesn't make any sense. And so when people come on this show and come into relationships talking like, well, I am who I am,
Yeah.
and he should just accept me from like that's bullshit. No, it sounds great. It sounds really
In
good to say
theory.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
but it's bullshit. You are not who you are. They do not need to accept you for who the fuck you came in as on day one. No, you have to.
Yeah.
I'm a completely different person from the time that Zar met me to the time that she moved to LA. From than I am today. I'm
From the day that we got married to today, child. He did,
and,
but
and
and I mean that in a good way. Like I feel like
because
things have
it
changed.
needs to happen. That needs to happen. You
Yeah.
can't be. This
Yeah.
is an ebb and flow. You know what I'm saying? You will grow. I will grow. Her wants and needs will change. My wants and needs will
Yeah.
change. And if y'all not growing together, you're growing apart, and you're bound to drizzle.
No,
I got it
if I
in.
knew that's where that was going, I wouldn't have
Is
been
it?
hyping
But
you
I never know where it's going.
up.
It just finds its way in, and I'm glad it did. I'm glad it did.
No. So what's very clear to me is that she's very non-confrontational, and I'm not really with that because we always think confrontational as a negative thing, but you do really have to be clear about your boundaries and things that you do and do not like. And I feel like her longing to be with somebody who's just like her so that she doesn't have to talk about the things that she does not like is odd. And it says more about how she processes that if somebody says something to me that I do not like, then I immediately put them in this box and I can't come back from that. You know what I mean? When the fact of the matter is, you go through conversations with your spouse, whomever they may be, all the time that they may say something that you do not like, but that's not the end all be all. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't control your narrative, the narrative of your relationship.
We have to really address how we look at the word non-confrontational, and we need to normalize addressing it for what it is. And non-confrontational is just as toxic as somebody who is throwing things and screaming in your face. It's just as toxic, because when people think that it's a good thing to say, well, I'm non-confrontational. When I hear you say that, all I hear is you don't handle issues. That's all I hear. I hear you let stuff fester, which is toxic. You sit on your feelings, which is negative. I hear that because the word, if you take out the actual word confront, what does that mean? It means I'm addressing something. That's what it means. So when you have conflict in a relationship, the only way you get past it is to address it. So for you to tell me, well, I'm just non-confrontational, that means that y'all got a lot of baggage and a lot of stuff that you're not addressing in your relationship, which means that your relationship is bound to drizzle.
No,
I got it in twice. I got it in twice. Yeah, I needed to. Yeah, I needed to double up.
We did not need it twice.
No,
we
I
did not.
To.
So they both sit down with each other's families. Obviously Jose's stepmama, Honey Boo Boo, is back. Okay, they wanted to make sure they threw her ass in there one more.
They are, because they Lifetime.
And she's the target audience, child.
Yeah, she sure is.
She the target, and they couldn't wait to be seen. They like, look at our people, look at our people.
Yeah.
But she was on there, and I think it was funny when she asked, like, what is this structure thing? Like, is it as like, a big of a deal as I think it is? And how they made it like this pregnant pause, like, yeah, bitch, it is.
Yeah.
Like, he has a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hopefully you can like ground him. But I thought it was really good that she spoke about how her shortcomings, but not in a self-deprecating way, because what I'm realizing is it's a lot of that going around and it's tired. But she was just saying, like, like, I don't save. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You know what I mean? And I thought that was really honest, because a lot of people do not like to talk about finances, and they don't want to talk
or be honest and transparent about what their shortcomings are, which is very necessary, especially in a team where I feel I am weak. I feel like my wife makes me strong, and we can come to the table and she could say, you know what, we've had that conversation. Well, I need you to keep me a little tight on this or that and the third or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think that that's necessary in building a relationship together and kind of building a machine together so that you guys can run as a well-oiled machine, because that's really the ultimate goal. That's why he said, like, we can talk about those things. You know what I mean? And some of them even say it like, yeah, I want you to help me out. I think it was Mirla said, or I can't remember who it was, but say something to the effect of like, I was hoping that my husband could help me in this area.
Well,
I
that
think
was
it was
her.
Rachel.
I think
Yeah,
it
I
was.
thought it was her. Yeah.
Yeah, it was her. And I enjoyed his response to that too, as they were talking about what each other's family said. I enjoyed that he was like, listen, like I did all that and I knew that we were going to come together and I wanted to be able to provide in a certain manner. And I'll make sure that I'm there to make sure that we get to where we need to be. And I thought that was so dope.
Yeah.
I thought that was so dope because I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was gonna say something like, "Well, you know what I mean? Something like, well,
Mm-hmm.
I did this and I
Well,
did that."
I graduated from college, so because I thought that was
Yeah,
coming next.
I did too. I did too. And so for him not to respond like that, I thought it was like he is ready. Is he
Yeah.
ready?
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed that because sometimes we don't get the way that they've been, like to your point, you say like they produce it a certain way, so everybody becomes like this character.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the way that they've produced him has been very much like he would be high strung
Mm-hmm.
in some way. So for him to respond that way was like, that's what you want from a spouse. You want somebody to see you and see your shortcomings and not be alarmed, but be like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I'm strong enough here to make sure that me and you gonna be good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, despite this, you want that. I thought that was really, really, really dope. And it kind of made me like him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But for them to be like, I'm excited for them. Is it me?
Yeah, that's you.
It's up.
You know what? Because the thing is, what I meant by that is like I like them as individuals. Like I just don't know that I see them being a great couple together. He gives me a lot of times when I see them interacting, he gives me like gay best friend. You know what I mean? And not that I'm calling him gay. I'm not. I'm just saying
I
that he
understand what
gives
you're
me
saying.
those vibes. Like when you
A
see a
friend.
certain
You're thinking like a friend.
yeah. He
A
gives.
friend that'll slap your butt from time to time or
That's what
something.
I mean. He gives me
Yeah, I
gay
understand.
best friend. Like you like, oh, okay. Like, at one point she said he was taking off his shirt and she was saying like, well, I got a long ways to go or something. Like he was making a joke about his abs or something. And she said, I got a long way to go or something like that. And he was like, no, girl, you beautiful. Like it was like when your gay best friend hypes you up. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like to me.
Get
I'm
him
like,
out of
oh,
here
okay.
about that. First of all, the more I watch him, the more I'm getting used to his isms. But I do see what you're talking about. I do see what you're talking about. But I'm kind of. Did you think it was weird that he wanted to brush her teeth?
No, I thought it was like a playful thing. I thought that was like kind of overblown. Like I thought it was like a jokeful, playful thing. Like, we talked about wiping each other's behinds if one of us can't do it. Like, and I'm like, well, that to me, that's something that y'all should like talk about. Like, yeah,
right.
Like,
I didn't think
something happened. I'm
all.
gonna have to, like,
But I don't but you know what is weird? That they make y'all brush your teeth at the same time.
I don't think they made them do that though. I think I thought part of her saying it was weird was like, I'm in here brushing my teeth, and then this boy come in here and he started brushing his teeth. I thought that's
give me context. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense then. That makes sense. Yeah. So we can move on.
Oh, but what I did think was a little weird was them something happened with like them talking about sex or something. And he said, well, I'm not gonna tell her no. Like if she wants to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And then
but he said, but I'm not gonna rush her or something like that.
But what was weird to me was he made the comment, well, that wouldn't be masculine to tell her no. You know what I mean? And we hear a lot of words, especially in this day and age, being thrown around. This is, toxic masculinity, and let's normalize that being toxic masculinity. Making dudes feel like they can't be transparent about their feelings or about what they want to do sexually, right? Because that gives the misnomer that all dudes want to do is hunt.
If you throw it at me, then I'm going right.
That's not true.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? I don't always feel like having sex, and I don't feel like I'm not masculine because I don't feel like I be tired sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, so I never think in my head.
But why am I offended? Like I'm swinging from chandeliers.
I don't ever feel like, oh, like I can't tell her, that I'm tired because that's not masculine. Like, you know what I'm saying? But this also goes into the basket that I was of him kind of me feeling like he's giving these gay best friend vibes. Like, why are you thinking like, well, I gotta be masculine?
Yeah, like you're showing up in a manner that you think you should show up, as opposed to what's natural for you.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because I didn't mean it as a shot to him. It was just weird because I don't know no dudes who think like, I got to do this because this is masculine. I've never heard a man that I've been around say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest choice. I wonder what he actually meant by that. Because that was weird. I'm glad you brought that up. So let's go on to Mirla and Gil. Oh, child. The Ice Queen, honey.
Yeah, she is the Ice Queen.
It's really, and I'll say they both have been through something very traumatic in the way that they lost their fathers, which is fascinating that they paired these two people together, having that kind of traumatic history.
Yeah.
But and maybe it kind of makes me want to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely been through a lot. That's crazy. Like the story, it was awkward hearing her tell it, and it was awkward watching.
I didn't think she was going to tell it.
I didn't think so either. But that time now, after hearing the story, I'm like, I get why she didn't want to talk about it, because it does sound like some shit out of a movie. You know, but I
didn't like his
reaction.
It wasn't it
was a little weird. It was a little weird for me too. Yeah, it was a little weird. It was I agree. I thought that was a little weird. Like I was just kind of like,
he all laughing and like, oh my God. And I know it probably was like a nervous laugh.
That's what I was wondering. Like, was it as a result of going through some serious trauma yourself, and that being the way that you know how to cope with it or speak about it, right? Because he did mention, while he was talking about his dad, he mentioned like, yeah, well, I can talk about it now because, it happened a while ago, and this is, this is where I'm at with it now. So because if somebody told me that story, I don't know that I would be like, damn, bro, I don't think that was his reaction.
Even your reaction right now, and we're not actually saying the ins and outs of it, made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Yeah.
Even just doing that, it felt uncomfortable. But I'm just going to chalk that up to him. I'm just going to chalk that up to secondhand, whatever, empathy or whatever the case may be. But you know what? I've been looking at his face, and you know what is really missing?
What?
A beard. But firefighters can't have beards, I don't think.
Why? They're not swimming.
Because their facial hair might catch fire.
Okay, I don't know. Where did you get that from? We gotta move on. I don't know where you got that from, bro. Like,
did I make that up?
I think you did. I don't know where you got that from.
Did I make that up? So let's move on. My bad. Okay, so at first I thought it was weird that she didn't share what happened to her dad that night, but then I that's annoying of me to think that I'm beholden to her trauma because she's on the show. So I was like, I had to check myself. And when she shared it, I was really proud of her for sharing it, but it was really, really weird. So they sit down and talk to each other's family, which gets weirder, or friends or whomever. And he sits down with her friends and family, which what I thought was funny was he thinking he about to go sit down with the bulls, and that shit was like, it was like, skirt, we do not fuck with you like that. We do not know you like that, bro.
But it was even more weirder because my answer would have been when he said something like, one of the friends asked, have you seen any red flags? And my response would have been, yes, today, walking in here to 4 dudes. That's weird.
You think it's weird?
Absolutely. So she don't have no female friends or something? Like, I got to sit down with, you're supposed to be meeting family and close friends. At least that's what these episodes in the past have been. They've been really close friends, and they've been family. They've been people's mamas, people's auntie who raised them, their grandmamas, or they very close friends or siblings. So I walk in, and these 4 dudes is the closest people to you in your life at this moment in time. That's I would call that a red flag right off the bat. I'd have been like, yes, sitting in front of you is a red flag.
I like that you said that because, in talking to people, especially, just talking to people in my circle, People really think they are evolved because, oh, I let my man have female friends or this and that. That don't make you evolve. That make you dumb. That make you dumb. Period. Because you're not saying like, oh, we're friends and he hanging
Right.
out with our friend Angel or Marie, or you ain't saying that. You saying, oh, he got friends that's females that have nothing to do with you. And y'all like, nigga, what? Oh,
but that's what it make you think, because that's what
I'm
I thought.
sorry. Oh my
That's
God,
what I.
babe, you want to bleep that?
It's funny because that's what I thought when the boy said, well, I'm like her daddy, and the other boy said, well, I'm her brother, and I said, well, where's the real brothers at?
Then we're her husband. If
Yeah,
you like
yeah,
her daddy, who her
yeah,
boyfriend?
yeah,
Who her
yeah.
fake boyfriend is?
Where's the real family at then? Because everybody is like something right here, and then for the guy. But this is my other problem with stuff like this, with interactions like this, because the people who are not really who they are saying they are, in the
Yeah.
sense of like,
I'm sorry.
I literally grew up with this person. This person is is my blood or whatever. They overcompensate, right? And they
1,000%.
say stuff like, well, if you true to
1,000%.
what you say you saying, then you don't have to see my dark side. What?
I'd have flipped the table. Show me.
Show me
You
your
talk.
dark side, bro. Show
Show
it to
me.
me. Let's find it.
Show
Let's
me.
let's let's
Show
turn
me.
off the lights. Everybody, let's turn off the lights, turn off the cameras so we can see what his dark side look like. I want to see it. Let's make it dark in here. Dim it. Is there some dimmers? Because I want to see what your dark side is. Like, you can't talk to me like that. I'm a grown-ass man, and that's not how you show me that you care for my wife. That is not how you show me. And the people who are near and dear to your spouse will never come at you like that. It's just
Because they want to be near and dear to you
to
as
you.
well. If they really mess with y'all as human beings, especially mess with your spouse, whoever your spouse is, they wouldn't even come at them like that, because they would say, you know what, whatever decision that this person has made is their decision. I respect it, and I'm going to respect this person. You know what I mean? On behalf of them. I just thought that was. I'm so glad you brought that up, babe, because that was in my notes. I
You
thought
had
that
to
was
know that
so.
made my blood boil. Like, I hate the fake
That
tough
was
guy.
so
First of
weird.
all,
Even the
let's take
first guy. Well, I've been her
even
best
the
friend for
first guy.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yo,
Even
my dude do not play male best friends.
no,
I
we
be
ain't.
like, oh, that's my
I'm her
best
best
friend.
friend. I'm her best friend. But the other thing about that was the bull sitting in front of Gil, who gotta look like he about a 6'1", 250,
At
least 250, and this little scrawny high yellow dude gonna tell him, well, you ain't gonna have to see my dark side. I'd have been like, let's stand up right now. I want to see you. I want to see what your dark side look like, bro.
it was really unnecessary.
It's
She
so
is a
whack. It's so whack. I hate
35-year-old
that.
woman.
I
You know
hate
what I
that.
mean? And at 35 years old, I'm sure she done ran, dipped, and do with quite a few men. Okay, not quite a few, and I'm not saying that to shame her. I'm saying that like she's experienced enough to have had bought men around y'all, whatever the case may be. Why are y'all acting like y'all ain't never met a man she ain't ever been? Like, it was weird.
But not only that, people who love your spouse, you get the protection and the energy from how they show love to them, right?
Yeah.
So I've never I tell you this all the time. I met Zar's dad when I was a kid, when I was 16. He could have gave me all the macho stuff he wanted to tell me and all this other stuff, and I wouldn't have thought nothing of it back then, because when somebody say something crazy, you're like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? He's never said anything like that towards me, and he's never had to. I knew the seriousness of his care from him, of how he talk about her, how he light up when he talk about her. She the smartest thing in the world. She the prettiest, my baby girl. He's never had to threaten me. I knew anybody who loved her like that, it will go to the grave for her. So I've never but that's real life. This whole fake well, you got to tell me how tough you are. That's
You
fake.
don't have to do
That's
that.
fake. You ain't that tough then.
And real tough guys don't do that.
They don't.
I tell people this all the time. You want to know a gangster in the group? Pick the funniest person. They a stone cold killer, okay? Like, cause they live in like it's. I'm telling you, like, if you meet, like, especially in my day. Well, never mind. We ain't talking about my dad. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. But what I'm saying is that I thought the whole interaction was silly and weird. And I even thought her interaction with his friends was weird too. Like, well, I'm moody and this and that. You know,
Yeah, what's up with like
this is the self-deprecating
I'm
thing.
a child when I want to be a child, so he better learn how to deal with children. Nah, I'm dating a woman. So if there's something wrong with you, you communicate that to me like an adult. Don't tell me, oh, I'm moody.
But even to
I
say
throw
I throw
temper tantrums.
tantrums,
Well, children throw tantrums, and I don't want a child. I want a woman.
there is a population of adults that do throw temper tantrums. That is a thing. We all
Who are
know.
children?
It is childish. It's a childish trait. But what I want to say is that I thought it was really, it doesn't set you up for success. Like, people do not get, like, the things that you speak out into the world really means things. You know what I mean? Like, can you be a person who is susceptible to your environment, which causes you to feel a certain way? Yes. Why call yourself moody?
Yeah.
Doing that gives you an out to act a certain way towards
Yeah.
people, and then it justifies your bad behavior.
Exactly.
And that's just it. You're not moody. You're susceptible to things in the environment. Listen,
Your
I'm an
mood will
empath.
change.
And my mood will change. Joe knows, if we could be watching something on TV, and if it triggers me in a way, I'll get sad. And then I got to be like, all right, we got to come out of this. You got to put something light on. I need to laugh a little bit, whatever the case may be. But that doesn't give me carte blanche to be any old kind of way or throw a temper tantrum in the presence of my spouse.
Yeah, everybody has moods. Everybody has changing moods because we're human, right? Like, everybody.
We're all moody. By that logic, moody.
By that logic, everybody is moody. That doesn't make any sense.
It just doesn't. It just felt really, really, really weird. Also, what was weird was that he had two beautiful friends too.
What you mean?
The girls. You didn't think that was weird?
Oh, I was so caught up by because they were doing
the cross thing.
You head was
still triggered.
Oh boy, like my head was at the bull telling me what was at the bull telling him, I don't want you to see my dark side.
I knew you would say something about that.
I don't even know if I caught whatever happened in the next 10 minutes of the episode after that.
Okay, so they move on. They're on their honeymoon, whatever the case may be, and she does not like anything in the room. She doesn't like the room. She doesn't like the view. She doesn't like. What did you think?
I just thought you got to roll with the punches. Like, I thought that because this is her narrative, and I'm talking about Gil. I'm not even talking about Merlin. I'm saying because this is her narrative, I think that this is how this is being drummed up. She's gonna be the high maintenance princess who is way over the top in everything and is high class, couture this, couture that, you know what I mean? And I think we're gonna see a lot more of it, which is kind of corny to me because people have more facets in life than that. You know what I mean? Like, even Michael Jordan left basketball to go play baseball because he wasn't just a basketball player. You know what I mean? So this narrative that, like, whatever we say they are in episode 1, this is what they do every day. Like, she not just sitting around talking about buying some Chanel bags all the time. You can't get me to believe that that's the person that she is. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought that you gotta, and also because I'm with a woman who she don't like Randy Dandy stuff. When we go someplace, I don't pick the hotels because the hotel got to be a certain way, and they got the bathroom got to be a certain way, the carpet got to be a certain way. But that doesn't make me feel like she don't. It just made me feel like she's a woman and she like nice stuff, and she didn't like this. Adjust, like, you know, we'll go somewhere. You know what I mean? To me, it wasn't. It was just sensationalized because it's her narrative to me.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Okay, because I don't think it's anything wrong with being specific about what you like. I don't think it's anything wrong with it, but I do think they may have filmed it in a way that
folds into the narrative.
But even the fact that they keep bringing up the finances, like, is weird to me because even at the table with the her guy friends, they bring it up, and she's just like, and he was like, well, that kind of worries me because I'm not, and he says this to her as well, he's not motivated by money, which I don't know what the fuck. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just dropping all the bad words. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't personally know.
I understood what that meant. I understood what that meant because I feel the same way about myself. Like, I feel like I was, when I was born into like a passion. I feel like I was given something when I was born. My mom was a music teacher. Family was always around music. So I feel like I was born with a passion. So from a young age, I feel like my motivation was my passion, and and
To
part of that,
pursue.
to
Yeah.
pursue that and to be successful in that. And then as I got older, I felt like the money will come with that. Like the money will come
Okay.
with the success. So when somebody say I'm not motivated by, I think when you wake up in the morning, it's not you're not getting out of bed at X o'clock in the morning because you're thinking about your check. You're thinking about whatever it is your passion is, right? And to me, people who feel like they are just strictly motivated by money don't have a passion, and so money turns into their
Their
passion, right?
passion. Which
But I
that's why
understood
I
him. I
get
understood what he
her.
was saying.
But that's why I get her, because, and I told you this, I told you in Jazz this, that I think the things that I do not like about Mirla is the things that bother me about myself, or like that are strong things in me. Because when she said what she said, that's me 1,000%. I'm always thinking about the dollar. Like I'm always like, okay, I tell people all the time, the amount of money I make today will be the least amount of money I ever make again in life. Like this is the poorest I'm gonna be ever again. Every day I make more money. So it's like I felt where she was coming from. Like, how is money not the motivation? Like, I love nice things. I'll fly first class. I do this. I do, like, what? Like, you know what I mean?
But I think to answer that question, like, for example, you are now, I think, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, I think now you're coming into your passion. The past couple of years, like you've gotten way into your business as far as boutique, as far as hair, all of it, the makeup, all of it, right? And to me, I see from the outside looking in that your passion has grown to the point where you're like, you have a job, you have a 9 to 5, and your passion has grown to the point where you're like, I can leave this 9 to 5, right? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like you understood Mirla because maybe you were in that place, but I feel like you're getting to the place where I was describing, where I was like, the thing that wakes me up in the morning isn't the check. It's like, I want to go and kill this. I want to smash this gig or smash this thing so that I can get to this point, and then the check will come with that. But I'm so focused on the passion that the money is secondary. So I understood what he said.
I get that. Okay, I get that. But let me tell you what I didn't. This I want to go back to the honeymoon thing, because I put this in my notes, and I want to go back to this really quick before we move on. I did not like the fact that she complained. This is what I didn't like about her complaining about the honeymoon. She complained about it, but when he asked, what does a dream honeymoon for you look like? All she could say was, well, it ain't
Not this.
That bothered me to my core, because if he wanted to fix it for you, you didn't even give him nothing to spring.
Yeah.
But then you'll continue to pout and then be negative and do it. That I didn't like.
But I also, and this is probably me now being in this space and over analyzing this production, I also was thinking in that moment, did they actually have a conversation about this? Or was it edited? Was it edited in a way that it was just like, this conversation is over now, we're moving on?
But we're going to get out of there, because then we could do that for
anything. Hard. It's so hard because you know that they do these things, especially like, that they do it from watching it and me actually being a part of a reality show and seeing how they ask us to do little shit over and over again that's supposed to be so organic and stuff like that. So that these things happen. So it's hard not to think like, is this how they edited this? Or did they have a conversation? I just asked myself those questions now. Like, did they really talk about that? Or did she just really just say,
no, I think that was her very first response. And
because she strikes me as the person, I thought that because she strikes me as the person that knows exactly the honeymoon that she, just like you pick if you pick in a hotel because you want this. She strikes me as that
exactly
person.
What I want. Right.
That's how she strikes me as. So
no, and she does strike me as exactly. Don't get me wrong. I hate to say this. I tell Sharon this all the time. I hate saying two things can be true, but two things can be true.
Because it's a fact. Uncle Shannon.
It's only a way to negate what one person is saying and make what you're saying make more sense. No,
that's not what it is. No, it's actually. No,
don't do two things. No, listen. Acknowledge that I am right, and then say also.
But what it's actually doing is finding a common ground. It's saying it doesn't have to be Michael Jordan. It doesn't have to be LeBron James. They can both be great. It's just it's just coming to a common place. That's all.
What I'm getting at, I do believe that she is somebody who knows, right? But I also believe that she is so hell bent on this persona. Because sometimes when you pour, you operate from a space of lack. And you could tell that as much money as she has, her mindset feels lack to me. Because even how she can be in a moment where you didn't pay to go to Florida. Like, think about all the things, right? You didn't pay to go to Florida. You just married somebody you don't know. She don't seem excited about nothing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
There is no light at the end of the table.
Yeah, she is very
nothing.
like mad about the entire everything.
That to me is the like that to me is a red flag.
Yeah.
Like but you can say so many negative things and then not have a solution. I cannot stand people like that.
Yeah.
Be solutions oriented.
Oh, I can't either, bro.
I can't stand people like that. So now you're just gonna pout and be upset, and we just gotta deal with it. Like I hate that. Like I hate it. But we'll move on from them and we'll pray that they get it together. Let's talk quickly about Brett and Ryan. Every time they're on TV, I get secondhand embarrassment.
I do too. I 1000%. I feel like I also do a thing here where I'm like, is it really this bad, or is they just editing this like this? Like, is it because it's making me think? I'm like, it's given like it's TLC. I'm just like, is he really this awkward as well? Because we don't know. I think we'll see more as we watch them get more camera time. But I'm starting to think like, is he really this awkward to talk to?
But they said he's shy. That his friends and family did say he was shy. And she said she thought his friends and family were shy, which gives me that they are conservative, highly conservative. And you know how, I don't know if you've ever been around people like that. They could be a certain kind of stuffy.
Yes. Oh, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's why she felt like, but when she said like, I'm not gonna be pulling nothing out of nobody, I just thought it was like, girl, we all gotta do it sometimes.
But I understand. But I understand what she was saying in the sense of like, they put it in the sense of like he a kid, like you got to be like, okay, well tell me how you feeling. Tell me, like, you know what I'm saying, like. We don't know each other and we're coming into this space and we getting thrown into the deep end. So we need to be sharing, like, you know what I mean? Like as an adult, you should know, like, this is time that we here, like we full blown married. We on and after this honeymoon, we about to be doing real regular life. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't have time to be tooting you along like you a toddler. I understood that because that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, what you mean? You're a grown ass man.
See. But I think that what they're saying is that we see you and we see you as being a lot more outgoing than he is.
Yeah, I get that.
So you might have to be a little bit more patient because everybody don't meet you where you at.
Right, I get that.
When I first moved here, me and you was on completely different wavelengths. So did I have to pull some things out of you and maybe vice versa to get us to a place where it made sense? Yes. And if I didn't do that, you and I would not be together. Or if you didn't do that, we would not be together. You understand what I'm saying? So to pretend like, I understand what you're saying, but to pretend like that's not a part of the process.
Yeah, I get
with
that.
Any relationship is weird to me. And it also goes to say how y'all motherfuckers do not be in relationships with people. You couldn't be and say that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's more of just coming in thinking like, I'm gonna just do what I've been doing, even though what I've been doing
get in where
had
you
me
fit
super
in.
single. Yeah.
That's what I had an issue with. Like, girl, that's not how life works. You might genuinely have somebody like that's a little bit more either outgoing. I know that I'm a little bit more, me and you bounce off each other. So I might be a little bit more outgoing one day, or you might be a little bit more outgoing one day. And sometimes you got to pull those things out of your spouse in certain settings or whatever the case may be to make them feel comfortable. Why is that a problem?
Yeah.
I get what she's saying. She's speaking to the extreme, but it's like, girl, it's not that deep. Yeah. He don't know you either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I thought the point I'm trying to get at is that they are weird. And
but he doing he needs a lot of pulling in because he's, from what they're showing us, he is giving nothing.
Do you have any questions about Brett?
No. Like, you just met her, bro. Like, you met her yesterday. You just met her yesterday, and y'all didn't even talk. So how do you not have any questions?
You don't want to know how she was as a kid. Like what? Like nothing.
That's
What's
what I
her
mean.
real hair color?
But that's what I'm talking about when I talk about going back to what I said. That to me is immaturity. That and I, as an adult, I don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
because you can
that's what she was speaking to.
you can be an introvert and still be conversational.
A fact.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
So I think this, what I've been seeing from Brad, is the reason why I perceived it the way that I perceived that statement of like, he's a grown ass man. Like, he should he should be able to have a free flowing conversation with his wife. I mean, she ain't taking him to the club. You know what I mean? Talk to her.
I agree. But how about her not liking to fly? And how do you think she acted on the plane? Because we do not have any footage, and I really want to know.
I don't buy that I don't buy that his annoyance with it was warranted. Like, like you said, we don't know, but he seemed way more annoyed by it than I feel like he should have been. You know what I'm saying? People have fears. People have, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the way he literally said, well, you know, like if she was anybody else, I just would never date her again. Like, this is why you're on the show, bro. Because you cutting women out because of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's weird.
That could be the red flag, as opposed to just supporting her through it, kind of.
Yeah, like this. But
it is. It was fascinating. I'll say that. I'll just say that. Like, and I really want to know what she was doing. But something about Brett, as much as I want to like her, she provides me with a lot of anxiety and
has a lot of anxiety.
But she tries to come off like she doesn't, which also gives me anxiety. And it's like because I get secondhand embarrassment. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like she's constantly talking about negative ass shit, and I think that's annoying. Like, you know what I mean? And I think it's like, if you were super confident, you wouldn't even want to know certain things. You just wouldn't. I don't know. So let's get to Michaela and Zach. I know we're pressed for time, so let's get to Michaela and Zach. And the more I watch them, the more I'm not sure about. I ain't sure about none of these motherfuckers.
Well, it's early. It's early.
It's still early.
We can't really be sure about nobody.
But if I had to put somebody in the, what do you call it? What seat?
The catbird seat.
If I had to put somebody in the catbird seat, it would be Bow and Johnny.
Okay.
And that might be a cultural thing.
I think I would agree at this point. But like I said, it's early. So
Yeah, it's still early. So Zach wakes up. He feels very comfortable with his wife. She obviously feels more comfortable. She's
very comfortable.
The thing about Michaela is that I like her, right? And I want to be clear about that. But what I thought was very funny was their conversation about jealousy and being possessive. And he was like, oh, it was kind of a turn on that she said that she's not jealous, but she's possessive. And I was thinking, today it's
a turn on the day, bro. That's 1,000%.
It always is. It always is in the beginning.
It's always cute. Oh, she crazy. Yeah, that's real cute. That's real cute in the beginning. Until she busting the windows out your car and you standing there like, how the hell am I get this thing towed somewhere?
Yeah. Real life, I thought it was like really like possessed. It was, and it also.
I have friends who have experienced this, and that's why it's so funny to me, because it's people that we know, that we both know. I'm thinking of one person in particular who always wanted the crazy John until she uproot his entire life. Like, it's always fun, and there's always funny and fun in the beginning. Like,
I love crazy. I mean, this sound bad. I don't even want to promote this, but I always tell people, like, you would have to be like crazy for me to recognize you. Like, if we date and I'll just like whatever, so you would have to do something crazy for me to be like, oh, like. Oh,
but we're not talking about the aspect of like pursuing somebody. We talking about like just like
in a relationship.
Just like batshit crazy stuff that everybody in the onset thinks, oh, she really loved me because she ready to do. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, no, that's not. It's only cute for the first 2 weeks.
How did you feel about his interaction with her family?
I thought the sisters was doing more of the macho talk that I don't like.
Yeah, I didn't like it either.
It's more, I can't. It just. it rubs me the wrong way. I don't like watching it. It's cringeworthy. I think it's very immature. And I hate watching people talk to other people and telling people, well, you know what you're gonna have to do because you know we watching. And
Like
I just hate it. I hate it, and I don't want to see. I wanted to fast forward past it because I knew that's what they was going to do because they did some of that at the wedding. So I just kind of knew that
you want to hear something weird.
What we call them? Somebody in the comments said it. What's the sisters from the Zeus?
Hercules,
the Hercules sisters.
The Hercules
I knew
choir.
if we seen the Hercules sisters again, they was gonna come with some old bullshit question, telling him, "Well, you know, we protect her, so you better protect her." Like, yeah, I mean, like.
But I want to give that same energy to his family because
I felt like all his family did was say he crazy. He got bad anxiety. He did like. I felt like they was just snitching.
They were throwing him under the bus.
Yeah.
No. His parent. First of all, his mom was like, "I don't believe what people say. I believe their actions." His mother was not buying it. Like, no. I don't know if you noticed it, but she was like, "You all have."
I didn't notice it. She was a little sly with it. Now, after hearing you say it, I'm like, okay, but she was a little smooth with it. So I didn't notice it while I was watching it. I
was watching her. But you know, I like to watch the people in the background anyway. Yeah. But I was watching her so intently because she had very little to say. The dad was doing a lot of talking. She was just sitting there like,
yeah. Yeah, somebody was like that, like last season, I think it was. I can't remember what it was.
Just watching, taking it in, like, like, okay, you're a little too overzealous.
Which she would not be wrong. Like, because we talked about this last week. Like, you got to watch people that get like that's pouring it on. Like, it's just a lot of sauce all the time. You gotta watch them.
It's the familiar BS that I do not like. Slow down. First of all, how you know I'm even the kind of family where I wouldn't be offended by you saying all this stuff about my son being this attractive.
Right.
You don't even know that. Right. So now here you
them.
Are, you being all extra. Now I'm looking at you like, who is this little hot in the ass little girl?
Yeah. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? But that's what I be trying to tell y'all about reading the room. I show up, Joe know, talk about being authentic. I am who I am every room I go into. But I'm gonna give you a grain of salt. Like you're gonna get like it'll grow. But in the beginning, you don't get all of me. Like, you know what I mean? We are layered human beings, and she's kind of giving busted wide open. And it's really annoying.
She is. And you gotta watch because like they said, people like that are also hurricanes, which they say she Hurricane K or whatever. Like
we're gonna see if she got a good reason though. It's giving irrational, but we're gonna see. We don't know what happens, but we're gonna see if it's giving a good reason. But I'm saying all that to say I thought it was really fascinating about how they were like, oh, we're giving him to you, so we expect you to take care of him. Listen. I don't like when people talk.
I don't need the instruction. I don't either. That's what I'm saying. Like the instruction don't come with these instructions.
Don't give me instructions
and all stuff. Because that's the thing. People will speak for you and about you who only know the Thanksgiving version of you. Like you don't even know me. Like you don't even know this iteration. I'm an adult. So what you know is the 2 hour Joe that sees you on Christmas and sees you for Thanksgiving dinner. And then I'm living like you don't even know. So don't come around mine and start telling her, well, he this and he that and
and that's exactly. Oh my God, babe, you hit it right on the head. That's exactly how I feel. My mom used to tell us, y'all have known me. I have known y'all all your life. You do not know me all my life. So, and that goes the same for parents, right?
Yeah, like that goes the same for parents. Like, y'all, I've been out this house. I left home when I was 18 and never go back and never went back. So my parents can sit down and say a lot about their son. They can say a lot about their son, but this 30-something-year-old version of their son, they still getting to know. And they will tell you that. So don't sit down and, well, he this and he that and like slow your roll.
I thought that was a lot. And it really, really annoyed me because it's like your son gives Playboy. He gives that he has commitment issues.
He gives Playboy from him though. He
has not had a relationship longer than 9 months. Granted, he's still young, but that is a relative red flag. You know what I mean? Relatively. So I thought it was kind of like fascinating.
I just don't get. I get that I think that in my mind it's for different. He doesn't give me Playboy. He gives me like I'm just super like green, super naive. Cause he's another one who was pouring it on a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, she's so perfect. And like, bro, slow down. Don't get your soul checked
I
too
don't
fast.
think that that's what y'all supposed to say.
I don't know.
And I really always find that fascinating. People always
I
think
do
that
too.
I don't like my spouse by the way that I talk about him, but I'll just be like, they really do. I be like, what? Like, this is what's really going on today. So like, I don't know what to tell you, but it's like, you know, like I always find it weird when people not over, you might genuinely have a feeling of like a positive feeling about your spouse. Don't get it effed up. But to your point, y'all don't even know each other yet.
Y'all don't
Like
even know each other, and some of
everybody
y'all,
likes each other in the
somebody
beginning.
literally used the word. If I had to put together the perfect woman, it would be her. You don't even know this woman. How is that? I think it was
It was
Jose.
It was
And I'm
Jose.
like, you don't even know her. How do you know that she's the perfect woman that you would put together? Like, so you would put a woman together who you know 10% of? That doesn't even make sense, dude. Like, slow down, everybody. Because when you speeding like this, you crash hard.
And not only that, when we gotta come back here in about 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 weeks and start talking shit about y'all, I don't want to hear nobody mouth because I'm gonna go back and play that. And remember when she was perfect?
She was so perfect.
You remember
Slow
that?
down. It's okay to say, you know what? I like the person that I've met so far, and I can see this going somewhere.
But why don't nobody talk like? You know who talk like that? Brett.
Yeah, but Brett don't really talk at all.
Brett. No, that's Ryan. You think about no.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Ryan. Yeah. I gotta get used to the girl name still.
I know.
The boy name.
Maybe we should call her B or something like that.
Yeah.
But she's that way, which might be why. Maybe on TV it just looks pessimistic, but in real life it's not. Maybe in real life it's just real.
Yeah. In real life it's just real. Like,
it's just real. Like,
I can get with that. Like,
I just met this motherfucker.
He's cute. I just met him, and we going places. Like, Zar talk about me like that every day, and I've known her since I was 16. And you,
right.
I'm
like, yeah, we just met. That's literally every time somebody say, "Oh my God, he's so this," I'm like, "He's okay. We just met each other."
Every day.
Every day. So that's all we got on Married at First Sight. They're on their honeymoon. Finally, it only took 17 episodes about absolutely nothing to get us here.
More.
But I'm glad we made it. And I miss you, Bubba.
They're gonna drag this out even more. I miss you though.
I miss you. And I can't wait to come back and talk about next week. It seems like it's about to heat up. Hopefully soon we can get some.
I feel like they're gonna jump straight into it, like the drama. Apparently, it's seeming like they about to jump straight into it. Which I don't necessarily think that I hope so. I kind of want, like, can we stay in the honeymoon phase a little bit longer? Because I'm already seeing clips of like, oh, he ain't come home last night. I'm like, wait, we just got here. Like, how do we skip to that? Like, so
okay, yeah, you ain't ready. You ain't ready yet.
No.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Bust down. Let us know what y'all thinking. Did y'all like this episode? Who is in the catbird seat for y'all this week? Who's going a long way? Who's going to make it? And I guess we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later.
And before we get off, speaking of honeymoon, we just dropped our honeymoon video in our channel. The video right before this. It's probably going to pop up when you get to the end of this video. So make sure that you check it out.
I'll make sure it pops up at the end of this video. So you should be seeing it right now. And go ahead and watch that.
It was lit.
And we'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later.